Microphone's on. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 20th City of Oldsmar Council meeting. It is 7 p.m. I'm calling this meeting to order. We're going to get started with our invocation and our pledge allegiance to the flag, which will be led by our city attorney, Tom Trask. Please rise.
Our Father in heaven, give us the power to clearly discern right from wrong. Allow our words and actions to be governed thereby and by the laws of this land. We ask for your inspiration to strive in our endeavors to serve the public. We also ask that you direct us so that above all things we discharge our duties for the benefit of the people we serve. This we pray. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is the Oldsmar Open Forum. Each speaker will be recognized once and will be limited to a 5-minute presentation on any subject. Please state your name and address for the record. The open forum will conclude at 7:30. Is there anybody on this side of the room that'd like to speak to the council? Anybody on this side? All right, well then we're going to close the Oldsmar Open Forum. The next item is our community minute, which will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Thank you. Holiday closures on Tuesday, July 4th. City offices, facilities, and the library will be closed on Tuesday, July 4th, in observance of the Independence Day holiday. Please note that the city council meeting scheduled for that evening is canceled. First Friday movie. On Friday, July 7th, 1 p.m. at Tico Hall in the public library. Bring your own snacks and refreshments for a free showing of I Want to Dance with Somebody. Stargazers, Thursday, July 13th. Sunset at Veterans Memorial Park. Bring your telescope out to take a glimpse into the universe. A limited number of telescopes will be available to share. This is a free activity for all ages. The Rain Barrel Workshop will be held on Saturday, July 15th at 9 a.m. at Bicentennial Park. Learn the benefits of rainwater harvesting and how to make your own rain barrel. Limited to 25 attendees. Free barrel, one per household. Registration required. Please call 813-749-1235. And that's it.
Great job. Thank you so much. All right, next item on the agenda is approval of additional new agenda items, which is 1, 5, 6, 9, 10, 15, 16, 19, 21, and 22. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any other discussion on this? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on our agenda is the Community Redevelopment Agency. And Councilmember Jared Buckman, do you have anything to disclose?
Thank you, Mayor. I want to disclose my primary residence is located within the CRA. I've already filed my disclosure forms with the clerk.
Perfect. I'm going to turn it over to Felicia, our city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to take the opportunity and provide an update and just a recent timeline to kind of capture all the efforts that have been done for the city-owned property next to City Hall. So last July, you all held a community visioning workshop, and that was facilitated by GAI Consultants to establish a specific vision, mission, values, and goals for the city-owned property adjacent and including City Hall. In August, the City Council considered and approved that mission, vision, value, and goals for the property to be used specifically in a letter of an intent for solicitations. In September, the letter of intent was interest was developed by GAI using that community vision, mission, value, and goals. It was approved by council. We distributed it to over 14,000 targets in the development community. In November, the city received 9 letters of interest, and the council selected 5 to which to send a specific request for proposals. In January, the council worked with GAI Consultants to refine a scoring criteria matrix so that that would be used in the request for proposal selection. In March, GAI created and the council approved the RFP document that was sent to the 5 specific developers. The proposals were due on June 12th, last Monday, and no specific proposals were submitted to the city. And so I didn't receive emails from all of the developers. I did receive emails from 2 of the developers that did give some reasons as to why they didn't respond. So I have read those in detail, the 2 letters. And so in an attempt to capture the intent of what I read, I'm going to read out what some of the concerns were. One, the desires of the city run counter to the economic feasibility of the development, and they reduce the land value. The inability to provide development costs and operating projections given uncertainty in the planning process, current construction costs, and rising interest rates. The cost to develop the master plan to compete and meet the requirements of the RFP could exceed $200,000. Current market rents don't support a parking garage, which is needed to obtain the right mix of restaurant, retail, multifamily, and office at a reasonable risk-adjusted return. Team qualifications for the project and the associated scoring. So that included qualifications of the team working together on prior projects. The site plan scoring details as it relates to the design specifics. Subject property is relatively small for a suburban project to gain proper massing to make the project economically viable. And to deliver a significant amount of retail and restaurants with other project requirements would require dense project with structured parking and/or changes to the code. So those were some of the reasons cited by just 2 of the developers that sent me emails. At the next meeting on July 18th, I have requested that GAI consultants come to council to discuss the possible next steps. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on this? Katie, Councilmember Gannon?
You know, I of course, I think all of us wish it might have turned out differently. I think we were all hoping to receive some proposals, and while the reasons provided in the 2 letters that we, or whatever they were, letters or emails or whatever we did get back are interesting, you know, it's kind of hard to know for sure, you know, what's in the minds of each of these developers. I mean, certainly we all know the current interest rates on loans, but, you know, we have to take them at their word. And I think that this process has been really important to our city for a lot of reasons. You know, we obtained significant citizen input, you know, on that vision statement, and the process that we went through together as a council in creating the scoring criteria and distilling down what we were looking for was important for a whole lot of reasons, including transparency and teamwork. I think that, you know, in the future, should economic conditions change or should there be some kind of other opportunity in the future, you know, we're open to it. And now we know what we want and don't want. And I think that's a win. You know, we've been through an arduous process, especially with this piece of property. And I'm proud of the work that we put in as a council, and I'm proud of the input we received from our citizens. I'm proud of all of the marketing and effort that our staff put in to ensure that our citizens were informed and aware of what was going on. I'm glad that people showed up and expressed their interest. You know, all of that is the type of community engagement that we're looking for. And I think all of it spurred additional transparency citywide. So I think, you know, in looking at it as a whole, well, sure, you know, I think we all wanted to receive something, but we're not in control of that, right? We can only ask for, you know, what we want, and if it's out there, it's out there. And, you know, the property's not going anywhere, you know?
Thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, just a couple comments. As Councilmember Gannon said, I think initially it was probably disappointment across the board for seeing the news of no proposals. And based on some of the feedback that city manager just shared, it seems as though as good of a job we did defining what we as a council perceived that the community wanted, and getting the community's feedback, is based on the economics right now, that what we thought was the sweet spot or in the middle somewhere just didn't work out. And whether that may have been the presumption of how much we as a city would have wanted to see realized in the terms of the sale of the land, maybe that's what gave some people pause. I think ultimately, it seems as though based on that feedback is, in order to make it work based on what they think they may have to pay for the land, either the density or just the total size of the land isn't there enough to be essentially go bigger than probably what we want. Counter to that, I would say perhaps that if we, because we haven't communicated what we're entertaining to do with the land as far as the financials go, granted that's our card to play when it comes time to negotiating, is perhaps that if there was a smaller size project that checked off a lot of boxes and was negotiated for a reasonable price, that maybe that's something that someone else might entertain in the future. So I'm not giving up any bit of hope yet that we can get something done. I think, if you look at other projects that have maybe had not as many false starts or sputters and ultimately got to a development agreement, that I think this one can wind up ultimately down that same path. So I'm holding out hope for maybe a Hail Mary.
All right, thank you. Anybody over here?
Steve?
Just to echo what Vice Mayor and what Councilmember Gannon said, we all know what's going on with the economy, so I was certainly disappointed, surprised might be an overstatement. It was, but it's also, did we want 5 responses or 0 responses? What if we only got 1 response? And so that's where I took it, where, okay, if everybody's thinking the same thing, I was hopeful to hear from all 5, and we only heard from the 2. But still holding out hope, like I said. And as Councilmember Gannon said, the land's still there, as we all know. It's right there. And so we'll see, just moving forward, but it's difficult to predict the future. It's, when you hear, this, to respond to this might cost me $200,000, and I don't know if that's money well spent, that's when you actually see the real numbers. Mm-hmm. And then especially with the construction costs and inflation and rates on loans, as you had mentioned, Katie. It's, like I said, I'm not shocked, disappointed, certainly, but here's to the future. And, I don't know if we need a Hail Mary, but, maybe a 4th and 15. We'll try to get there.
Yeah.
Last
Thank
Statue
you.
of Liberty.
I echo everything my fellow council members said. This has been an amazing process. We've all learned from it. I think that we did the best to involve all the key stakeholders in the process, and it's not over. It's not dead. It's a bump in the road. Probably not the best term to use today, but it's a small bump in the road that we're going to get past this. Something will come out of this, and we'll figure out what the next steps are. So I'm encouraged. As I learned the letters, yes, I was upset that we didn't get the responses. I was very excited to see the next steps in the process. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out to circumstances that we can't control, right? The financing was one of the big ones that I heard. So keep our heads up, keep moving forward, see what comes out of it.
All right, thank you. I just have a couple things. The positive is that we came up with a mission and a vision statement, which we never had. Thank you to Felicia and all your hard work and your team. I really appreciate what you've done for this project. I mean, Felicia, you really jumped into it, and you had a vision and a goal, and you took control of it. I've seen the whole process, and I want to thank you for that. I'm sad that it didn't come through, but as everyone says here, we still own the land. We still have that land. We have it. Very satisfied with GAI's performance. They kept us updated. They did presentations and constantly were trying to come up with solutions for us. But all in all, we still have the land, and I don't think it's dead at all. I think something's going to happen sooner or later. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and let's pray that we get somebody. With that, we're going to move on to the consent docket, and this will be read by our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Item 2, approve minutes of the June 6, 2023 council meeting. Item 3, approve payment to legal counsel for May 2023 legal services. Item 4, approve payment of May 2023 legal services to Bartlett, Loeb, Hens, and Thompson, PLLC for Eric Seidel's litigation defense. Item 5, approve payment of May 2023 legal services to Roper, PA for representation of the city and Mayor Siraki with regard to the allegation of the public records violation. Item 6, approve purchase of AV equipment and services from AVI SPL per the pricing terms and conditions as the Omnia Partners Contract number 2019.001535. Item 7, award 2023-007 ITB Park restroom door replacements to SM Door and Hardware. Item 8, award professional services contract to update the vulnerability assessment to Black & Veatch, Inc. under the same terms and conditions as the City of Clearwater contract number GM 12-1313-060 231-1201. Item 9, award purchase and installation of caustic tank and circulation pump at the reverse osmosis water treatment plant by Odyssey Manufacturing Co. per the Pasco County contract number IFP KM 22179.
All right, thank you. Does anybody wish to pull anything from the consent docket?
Item 5, please.
Item 5, I need a motion to, anything else? I need a motion to approve item 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Katie, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. So item 5 is approved payment of May 2023 legal services to Roper, PA for representation of the city and Mayor Siraki with regard to the allegation of the public records violation. The background states, on May 16, 2023, council authorized the city attorney to obtain outside counsel to represent the city and engage in limited representation of Mayor Siraki with regard to the allegation of the public records violation. Roper, PA has submitted invoice number 82105 in the amount of $3,750. This invoice represents legal services during the month of May 2023 for representation of the city and Mayor Siraki. The recommended motion is to approve payment of May 2023 legal services to Roper, PA. So my understanding is that this invoice comprises work performed in defense of the notice of intent to the city and the mayor. It's also my understanding that no further action is required to defend the city after this point. In other words, a response has been provided to opposing counsel, and now the next potential step is litigation. So I just wanted to reiterate the comments that I made at the May 16, 2023 meeting, that I will not vote to approve payments of legal fees for the issues raised in the notice as it pertains to the mayor. Otherwise, I move to approve.
Second. All right, any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the City of Oldsmar, and I am going to turn it over to our city manager, Felicia Donnelly.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm going to invite Deb Vitrelli, the Public Communications Supervisor, to come up to the podium. I also am going to congratulate her on her 10 years of service. She had her service award.
Time flies when you're having fun. Thank you.
Long?
10 years.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We are the better for it.
no doubt. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The City of Oldsmar has been honored as an inaugural recipient of the Certificate of Excellence in Government Communications Governmental Entity for 2023 by the Florida Municipal Communicators Association. This certificate recognizes local governments across Florida who have established and utilized different tools, resources, and technology to communicate with their residents effectively and efficiently. Only 10 cities received this prestigious award. Recipients were selected following a stringent application process that identified the tools used for community engagement, including live streaming council meetings, using social media, having a crisis communication plan, promoting Florida City Government Week, of course, providing a mobile responsive website, and much more. As the current past president of the FMCA, it is my honor to present this certificate, I might cry again, to the city of Oldsmar on their behalf. Congratulations.
Yay!
Inaugural. Wow. That's wonderful. Let's see it. Oh, how nice.
Okay.
Speech, Felicia, speech. Testament.
That's wonderful. Congratulations, Deb. Your hard work has paid off. I'm very proud of you. All right, wonderful. Next item on our agenda is item 11, presentation and proclamations for National Parks and Recreation Month, and that will be Councilmember Katie Gannon.
Thank you. So I have the honor of presenting this to our Chip Potts, our very own Leisure Services Director, but I won't make him get up just yet. So, Parks and Recreation Month. Whereas Parks and Recreation is an integral part of communities throughout this country, including the city of Oldsmar, and promotes health and wellness, improving the physical and mental health of people who live near parks. And whereas Parks and Recreation promotes time spent in nature, which positively impacts mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being, and alleviating illnesses such as depression, attention deficit disorders, and Alzheimer's. And whereas Parks and Recreation encourages physical activities by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles. And whereas Parks and Recreation programming and education activities, such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education, are critical to childhood development. And whereas Parks and Recreation is essential and adaptable infrastructure that makes our communities resilient in the face of natural disasters and climate change. And whereas our parks and natural recreation areas ensure the ecological beauty of our community and provide a place for our children and adults to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. And whereas the city of Oldsmar recognizes the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Now, therefore, I, Katie Gannon, on behalf of Dan Saraki, Mayor of the city of Oldsmar, Florida, do hereby proclaim July 2023 as Parks and Recreation Month here in the city of Oldsmar and recognize that parks and recreation is fundamental to the environmental well-being of our community. Come on up, Deb.
Great job, Katie.
There's a lot of whereases, but our parks do a lot of things. Our recreation do a lot of things, right?
Thank you.
Can you give us a little presentation?
Okay. Hi, good evening. Chip Potts, Director of Leisure Services, and thank you for the proclamation. And I wanted to provide a short presentation about Parks and Recreation Month and the impacts that Parks and Recreation has on our city and kind of who we are as a department. Up top. Okay. So every year, agencies across the United States celebrate Parks and Recreation Month to promote the contribution that Parks and Recreation has on our cities. Parks and Recreation Month was first celebrated in 1985, and it was driven by the National Park and Recreation Association in an effort to recognize the importance that Parks and Recreation has on our communities and the people who provide those services. It was also supported by the U.S. House of Representatives by resolution in 2009. So right now, I'd like to take an opportunity to take a look at how Parks and Recreation has an impact on our city. And our clicker. Okay, here we go. All right, so the first impact is community building. Community building is done mostly through our events. We have a lot of events here in Oldsmar. You guys know that every week, and I appreciate the recognition. Our staff appreciate the recognition that you provide us, but a lot of work goes into that. But we do have a lot of events that we offer to the community, and these events, they bring people together. They build relationships, make friendships, they create lifelong memories. I can't tell you how many times I've been at an event and seen a young family and said, you know, my parents used to bring me to this event, whether it's the breakfast with the bunny or to the Winter Wonderland with the snow slide. And, they're like, and I'm bringing my kids too. This is such a wonderful thing to provide. So it creates those lifelong memories, and it also, like I said, it builds relationships. So many friendships are made at our parks. Strong bonds are made, and that's what really builds the community, is those bonds that we provide that take place in our parks. So, like I said, some of the events that we have: Sunset Sounds, Party in the Park, Halloween Happenings, Winter Wonderland. All of those great events bring families and people together.
40,000 people.
And excuse me, yes. And we estimate that about 40,000 people come to these events annually, and that's like every single event put together. That's a lot of people. That's more than people that go to the Rays games, right?
3.5 times.
Sorry, Rays. I'm still a fan. Still a fan. Another impact that we have is on the health of our community. Okay, parks encourage healthy, active lifestyles, and we support that through our amenities and our trail system. We have 10 miles of trail that traverse throughout the city. Hop on just about any location there, and you can make a loop around the city. Bicycling, walking, jogging, socializing. We also have playgrounds. We have 9 playgrounds. It might seem like a lot, but we have 9 playgrounds throughout the city, and that's a great opportunity for our families to take their young children, get them out from behind the screen, get them physically active, challenge them. That's what, playgrounds are about: challenging kids, making them grow, right? It's also about getting your hands dirty, right? So get your hands dirty, get out there, get active. And then the other active spaces that we have around the city that are for youth or for adults, we have tennis courts, basketball courts, pickleball, sand volleyball, kayak and canoe launches, disc golf, and multi-purpose fields. And you know what the best thing about all those are? They're free. Free. You don't have to have a card. You don't have to pay to get into it, right? You just jump on, play, get out and get active. So we have plenty of opportunities here in Oldsmar to stay active. Another impact we have is on our economy. So, parks generate revenues in the local economy through events and tourism, and they also positively affect housing and commercial real estate. And I'll get to that in a second. So Gator Nationals, for example, over 13,000 in attendance for that 3-day weekend. Over 3,000 room nights, right? People need to eat, they want to shop, and they want to be entertained. So according to the Florida Recreation and Park Association Economic Impact Calculator, that 3-day event with over 13,000 in attendance had an estimated $1.4 million economic impact on our economy. That's a big number right there, right? So just that one weekend, and you think of the other events that we have on top of that have that impact as well. Now, I mentioned real estate. Yes, parks have a positive impact on real estate. So there's a thing called the proximity effect of parks. So houses located within 500 feet of a park tend to have a 3.3% higher value than homes that are outside of that radius. So not only from events, but from a park standpoint as well. And with 11 parks in the city, that's a lot of homes that are feeling that proximity effect. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yes.
I love where I live. I think we probably all live pretty close to a park.
I do.
Yeah.
Across the
I have
street.
a bike right there.
Yeah.
So, and another impact that we have is on the environment. We have many opportunities to connect with the environment through our trails and our waterways, and our parks are key to connecting our residents with our natural treasures in order to preserve them. We want them to be here for generations, so we have to enjoy them and respect them, and that way they'll have their longevity. And we do that through our greenways, which are our parks. We have 11 parks, as I mentioned, and that consists of 217 acres of parkland. Additionally, we have 2,300 acres of preserved land, which equates to 40% of our city is green space, park or preserve. That's a great number, a great number. We also have blueways, which is access to water. 6 of our parks are adjacent to water, and they have canoe and kayak launches. We have 2 floating docks and 1 fishing pier with water access. And of course, we have our kayak trail that goes from Mobley Bayou Wilderness Preserve all the way to the top of the bay. So that's a lot of good things, a lot of good impacts, and you say, darn, who are those great people who create these impacts, right? Well, That's our leisure services staff, okay? We have 4 divisions in leisure services. We have recreation, parks, Oldsmar Sports Complex, and the facilities division. So we have 7 full-time staff and 5 part-time staff who work at the Cypress Forest Recreation Center and State Street Center, and they're responsible for programming our special events, our daily activities, our camps, and then also our BMX programs. In our parks department, we have 11 full-time staff and 1 part-time staff, and they maintain all of our city-owned grounds and parks. They also maintain some of our medians, and they are responsible for providing event support. We have our Oldsmar Sports Complex division, which has 6 full-time staff and 1 part-time staff. They have a lot of, it may not seem like a big facility, it's 45 acres, but they, 6 full-time staff and 1 part-time staff maintain 7 baseball and softball fields, 3 multi-purpose fields, the hockey rink. They maintain Sheffield Park, the multi-purpose area out there, as well as some medians, and they also provide event support to our event staff. And then finally, we have our facility maintenance division, which consists of 6 full-time staff. They maintain all city-owned facilities and park structures, and they also provide event support. So I invite you to come out and celebrate with us, visit a park, join a program, hit the beach. If it's too hot in the summertime, see us in the fall and attend events, okay? And I just want to invite everybody out. And remember, guys, it starts in parks. Thank you for your time tonight.
Great job, Chip. Great job.
Chip. Thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Starts with finance and then parks. I had to. Cindy's sitting right there.
All right, thank you again. Next item on our agenda is item 12, and that'll be handled by our city attorney, Tom Trask.
Thank you, Mayor. On June the 6th of this year, the City Council authorized me to prepare a draft of a resolution amending or repealing Resolution 2010-16 and amending the current planning and redevelopment filing, review, and publication fees in accordance with City of Oldsmar Land Development Code, Section 3.5.8. It's to increase the assessment search fee from $25 to $75 and increase the publication and advertising fee for variances from $150 to $350. I'll go ahead and read that resolution by title only. Resolution 2023-11, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, repealing Resolution 2010-16 and amending the current planning and redevelopment filing, review, and publication fees in accordance with the City of Oldsmar Land Development Code, Section 3.5.8 fees, to increase the assessment search fee from $25 to $75 and publication/advertising fee for variances from $150 to $350, and providing for an effective date hereof. There was a reading of Resolution 2023-11 by title only.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. How about a second? I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item?
Thank you again, Kristen.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 13.
So also on June 6th, City Council authorized me to prepare a draft of a resolution approving the public records policy. You remember that the city clerk had recommended adopting a formal policy requiring payment of the statutorily authorized costs associated with responding to a public records request. I'll go ahead and read that resolution by title only. Resolution 2023-12, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, adopting a public records policy and providing for an effective date hereof. That was reading of Resolution 2023-12 by title only.
All right, thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 14.
So item 14 is to review the council rules of procedure. You remember, after adopting the rules of procedure last year, we included a provision in the resolution and the rules that would require a review once a year. I sent each one of you an email earlier in the week, I think it was yesterday, advising you that I did not have any suggested changes to the rules since we just adopted them. But I was asking for each one of you to be prepared to discuss any possible changes that you had, and if not, we can move on to next year. So I'm ready to receive any of your comments or suggestions or discuss the rules as they currently exist.
Do we have any changes?
I had none since our last revision, 2022-18.
Neither.
For me.
Vice Mayor? Nope.
We're good.
All right, so we need a motion.
So moved.
You don't need to do anything
Don't need to do
at
That
this
was
point.
good, all right.
We've reviewed it.
You've reviewed it.
All right, we reviewed it. Well, that was easy.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Next item on our agenda is item 15, and that'll be taken care of by, again, our city manager, Felicia Donnelly.
Item number 15, approve the special event application fee waiver request for Holiday Sharing Fund Bike Rodeo event to be held this Saturday, June 24th. The Holiday Sharing Fund is hosting its 2023 Summer Bike Safety Rodeo on Saturday, June 24th from 9 till 1. This free event will take place in the parking lot between the council chambers and State Street Center. It will include a safe bike operation instruction for children in the community while also providing fun activities. In accordance with the City of Oldsmar's special event guide, the Holiday Sharing Fund is requesting a fee waiver associated with this event in the amount of $350. A copy of the application is attached to the agenda. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
How about a second?
Second?
I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the bike rodeo?
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw, there you go. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 16.
Item number 16, approve an agreement for the use of a portion of Bicentennial Park with the Oldsmar Organic Community Garden. In 2012, the City of Oldsmar designated an area of land at Bicentennial Park to establish a community garden where volunteers and staff worked together to lay out garden plots and install a fence. In 2014, the volunteers formalized and established a 501c3, forming the Oldsmar Organic Community Garden. Since its inception, the Oldsmar Organic Community Garden has provided opportunities for the public to learn about gardening techniques, maintain their own garden plots, and share in the joy of gardening with others. This item recommends the approval of an agreement that provides a portion of Bicentennial Park for the garden to conduct gardening activities. The city will share a portion of the irrigation utility costs at 50% up to a total of $500 annually. The club will be responsible for all other irrigation costs. This agreement has been reviewed by the city attorney. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I got a motion. How about a second?
Second.
Any other discussion about water at the community garden?
If you haven't been by there recently, you should just drive by. The sunflowers are twice your height. They're so beautiful.
I know. I was there yesterday. I wanted to go over those speed bumps and check them out.
The garden, it's really flourishing. It's gorgeous over there.
Yeah, they do a great job. They really do. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 17.
Item number 17 is approved grant agreement 23 PLN 122 with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection for the Oldsmar Vulnerability Assessment. The City of Oldsmar completed a climate resiliency plan in May 2021, which included a vulnerability assessment. Subsequently, Florida Statute 380-093 was passed, which created new requirements for the vulnerability assessments. City staff pursued a Resilient Florida grant for $60,000 to update Oldsmar vulnerability assessment. This project will update the city's existing climate resiliency plan to include a comprehensive vulnerability assessment pursuant to Section 380.093 of the Florida statutes. The project will include public outreach and stakeholder engagement and will support strategic priorities of maintaining existing infrastructure and expanding community engagement. The updated vulnerability assessment will position the city for future resiliency implementation grants. The project was currently budgeted in the capital improvement program and the water and sewer operating fund. It's not to exceed $60,000. Staff recommends approval.
Thank you so much. I need a motion to approve.
Moved.
Second?
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this wonderful item?
Thank you, Ashley, for applying, and thank you to Finance for complying with everything that comes after we get a
Absolutely.
grant.
Yes.
We appreciate you.
Great news. Any other discussion?
No.
No? Anyone else? Thank you, guys. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 18.
Item number 18 is adopt resolution 2023-10, revising the budget for fiscal year 2022-2023. Attached, please find resolution 2023-10, revising the annual budget for fiscal year 2022-2023. The general fund requires adjustment at this time. In the general fund, the city council division requires an additional $500 for the mayor to attend the 2023 Florida League of Cities Annual Conference from August 10th to 12th in Orlando. The city attorney division requires an additional $75,000 to cover increased litigation costs. Fire and rescue requires an additional $85,000 in appropriations, $65,000 to cover the FY23 pension contribution rate increase for the Oldsmar firefighter pension, the result of a recent actuarial evaluation, as well as a $20,000 for repairs to the fire aerial truck, T-54, and the fire station. Finally, the Recreation Division has requested an additional $15,000 for instructor payments due to the increased number of participants. The general fund contingency reserve will be used to fund these adjustments. 2 reclassifications of personnel have also been requested in the general fund. I've requested an executive assistant grade 117 to be upgraded to a management analyst grade 120 to meet departmental needs for in-depth analytical reports and presentations. Furthermore, the Streets Division has requested to downgrade a vacant heavy equipment operator grade 111 to a traffic sign technician grade 106. This position will provide backup to the senior traffic sign technician with important routine maintenance of city street signs and markings, as well as for the creation of banners at city's events. Additional appropriations are not required for these reclassifications. However, the requests have been included in this amendment because they represent a departure from the adopted budget as legally adopted by City Council. I will read the resolution by title only. Resolution 2023-10, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, revising the budget for fiscal year beginning October 1, 2022 and ending September 30th, 2023. Authorizing the city manager and the director of administrative services to revise the existing budget.
Thank you. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
A motion, how about a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion on this item? All right.
Thank you, Mayor, sorry. My only comment is that, based on a lot of the feedback that we got following the revision to the city council operating budget, I won't vote to increase the city council budget ever again. I think some very important points were made following that discussion. But here we are. And I think the upcoming fiscal year will present additional challenges. That's all.
Okay. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is item 19.
Item number 19, adopt resolution 2023-13, suspending that annual ad valorem tax transfer from the general fund to the Public Safety Impact Fund for fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023 and ending September 30th, 2024. On October 3rd, 1995, the City Council adopted Resolution 95-35, providing for an allocation of 1/10 of a mill and ad valorem taxes to the Public Safety Impact Fund annually. On September 18th, 2006, the City Council adopted Resolution number 2006-37, which repealed Resolution 95-35 effective October 1st, 2006, and therefore also halted the transfer. On April 2nd, 2019, City Council adopted Resolution 2019-06, reinstating the annual allocation once again. As part of developing the budget for fiscal year 2024, dramatic cost increases for products and services necessary for governmental operations have influenced the expenditure profile of the general fund. Although some revenues, such as recreation program fees and investment earnings, have recovered well from the pandemic, these increases and projected property values received from the Pinellas County property appraiser have not kept pace with the escalating costs. City staff has therefore taken an even more fiscally conservative approach than normal to developing the budget for this year. In addition to management's reductions of departmental budget requests for the year, and in lieu of raising the millage for fiscal year '24, staff is also recommending council suspend the annual transfer from general fund to the public safety fund for 1 year. This resolution will also suspend the transfer for fiscal year 2024, and the transfer will automatically be reinstated for fiscal year 2025. The suspension of this transfer for the general fund to the Public Safety Impact Fund is anticipated to save the general fund approximately $195,000 in fiscal year 2024. I'll read the resolution by title only. Resolution 2023-13. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Oldsmar, Florida, suspending the annual ad valorem tax transfer from the general fund to the Public Safety Impact Fund for fiscal year beginning October 1, 2023, and ending September 30th, 2024, and providing for an effective date hereof. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I need a motion to approve.
So moved?
I need a second.
Second.
Any other discussion on this item?
Just
You guess, Councilmember Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. Just briefly, I had a discussion with our city manager about this earlier today, and I think it's important just briefly for our public to understand that the Public Safety Impact Fund is not the budget for Oldsmar Fire Rescue, right? They're not operating separately with this money. This was just additional money that was set aside, and actually a very tiny amount of money that when we made it retroactive in 2019, it had an effect of kind of bumping us up to get a new truck, and that was great. But the amount of money that fire rescue needs for whatever it is, equipment or personnel, that's general fund money, right? So I just want to make sure that the public understands that by temporarily suspending this transfer, we're literally making a line item adjustment in our books. This doesn't take anything away from fire rescue. If anything comes up, it's coming from the same bucket, just a different line item. So I just want to make sure that people understand that, and that nobody thinks that we're, taking funds away from fire rescue. It's not like that. So in any event,
All right, thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I think just to echo Councilmember Gannon's point, it's just kind of taking those two buckets and making them one, so that we're not restricted in only spending that amount of money as it relates to fire rescue when it may not be needed or as high priority for the upcoming budget year, where those dollars will be put to better use elsewhere.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah.
No, we're good?
Same sentiment.
All right, yep, I agree. Thank you for explaining that, Councilmember Gannon. It was perfect. All right, with that, I got a motion and a second. How about all in favor signify by saying aye?
aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item on the agenda is our city clerk, Kristen Garcia.
Item 20, reappointment of Howard Steffensmeyer and Sean Swager as alternate members to the Board of Adjustment. The terms of Board of Adjustment alternate members Howard Steffensmeyer and Sean Swager expire on July 7th, 2023. Both Howard Steffensmeyer and Sean Swager are eligible to serve again.
All right,
We've got Mr. Swager here tonight.
you want to come up and
Yeah.
say something for us? All right, there you go. So how do you like it?
Love it.
Yeah?
Good.
No, it's good to, be involved more than, before. And I mean, I love the city, so it's good to be playing somewhat active role, even though I'm an alternate, But, no, happy to.
Well, we appreciate
continue.
your service, and everyone here appreciates what you do for the city of Oldsmar. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Anything else you guys want to say? Do you want to do a little dance or something, anything?
Twirl. No,
Thanks, Sean. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us, too.
Thank
Sorry
you.
the crowd was kind of big for me.
Yeah,
At least you found a seat.
there you go.
All right, a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying Sean.
Fun. And Howard.
And Howard.
Motion passes. Congratulations, welcome. Item 21.
Item 21, reschedule September 19th, 2023 council meeting due to conflict with Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners budget hearing. Florida Statute 200.065 sub 2E2 does not allow for the city to hold a budget public hearing at the same time as a county budget public hearing. Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners will have a budget hearing on September 19th, 2023. Staff recommends moving the September 19th, 2023 council meeting to Wednesday, September 20th, 2023. The council meeting will be located in the council chambers at 101 State Street West, Oldsmar, at 7 p.m.
All right. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I have a motion. How about a second?
Second.
All in favor, any other discussion? I guess it worked out for everybody. That's good. All right.
Check. I'm sure it's fine.
Did you check?
I checked today.
I checked. I was fine.
No, the league has my meeting's the 21st, so we usually go down the day ahead of time, but that's fine. I can still, we can't do it a different day, but I was just, so I did check, Councilmember Dean.
Great.
Okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. All right. we're
No,
all good.
I specifically did not check because when it comes to budget season, when the county has to have their meeting and all the other boards have to have their meetings, we are literally last on the priority list. So I didn't bother to check because that's going to be the day, no matter what I say.
That's, I had the same sentiment, yeah.
Yeah.
There's no getting
All right.
around it.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. We're moving the date. Next item on the agenda is item 22. Consider canceling the July 15th, 2023 special council meeting. I need a motion to approve that we won't be meeting on a workshop on Saturday, July 15th.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item is council comments, and we're going to start out with Vice Mayor Andrew Knapp.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things quickly. Seeing the new logo on the presentation tonight, as well as now seeing it roll out on a lot of our fleet out on the roads, as probably the one that shared maybe some apprehension about it at the very first sight of it, but seeing it now more and more, I can't say how great it looks out on the road and in the presentations, especially with the word, the name Oldsmar, top of the bay, and the logo. It looks fantastic. So the team that did that, it's now starting to bear fruit and be out there, that it's going to be part of the fabric of our community. Next, based on the way that the last week or so has gone, I suspect that my son will probably wake me up at midnight tonight to celebrate his first trip around the sun. So Henry will be 1.
Wow.
And, so happy early birthday to Mr. Henry. And then happy early birthday to my wife, Nicole. She is a 4th of July baby, so she gets fireworks every birthday.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday, my love.
Very nice.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Councilmember Steve Graber.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. We attended the chamber dinner, and just wanted to say how nice of an event that is each year, and got to see Dave McKinley win an award for Volunteer of the Year. Sharon Edwards won the Oldsmar Cup. Yep. And Mike Boylan and his family were recognized. Mike won Citizen of the Year. So just to mention those names again, very well deserving. A lot of fun that night for sure. Happy birthday, Nicole. Happy 4th of July to everyone. I hope it's healthy and happy. I will not be in town. I am taking my daughter, just me and her, to Washington, D.C. on the 1st, taking a train to New York City on the 2nd. So her first voyage to New York City, she will show up at Penn Station and walk from Madison Square Garden to a hotel in the Fashion District, because I'm crazy, apparently, but that's how she's going to understand New York City. Hopefully take her to the Met. And she told me she wants a hot dog, and she asked me if there was good spaghetti. So I'm on the hook for a lot of stuff when I go up there. But then we're going back to DC where my sister lives, and then on the 4th we're going into the mall, and we're going to watch the fireworks over all of the monuments. So I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, just me and her. My son is not pleased. Daddy, have you bought me a ticket yet for the airplane? You're not going. He doesn't understand it. But just wanted to make sure I said that, because it's going to be a lot of fun, and I won't be here with you guys before then. So that's all I had, Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Councilmember Katie Gannon.
Thank you, Mayor. the chamber dinner was mentioned. It was a very nice event, very well planned. I also had the opportunity with the mayor and with Councilmember Buckman to attend the ribbon cutting for Galloway Orthopedic, which was really cool. Not just because he's a bull gator and a graduate of the University of Florida, which is definitely, you know, my favorite. And it was amazing to see his office. The new office is located behind the Learning Experience, which is right past the train tracks here on Tampa Road at Commerce. It's really wacky because even though the address is Tampa Road, it like takes people different places if you put it into Google, especially if the business actually faces Commerce, it gets confusing because their address is Tampa Road. But for those of us who found the place, it was literally decorated inside and out with orange and blue, and included lots of memorabilia, including the military regalia for his grandfather and his grandfather and his father's orthopedic practices. So it was really neat to see, you know, going back through the history of his family, the practice of medicine. And the staff there was so thrilled. So many people came too. It was very well attended. But
Forget the food.
yeah, it's always lovely to see everybody there. And it was really nice, the learning experience where my kids went. Another great local business. They let my kids play on the playground, even though they don't go there anymore. So I could attend the ribbon cutting. It was a little bit of a circus for me, but a fantastic event. And I wish everybody a happy and healthy 4th of July as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Councilmember Buckman.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have much. All I have is happy July 4th. Be safe. Don't blow off any fingers, and we'll see you in July.
All right.
It's true, yeah.
Great job.
Careful.
Good job. All right, I have two things. On June 13th, I attended the Crew Economic Summit Luncheon. Speaker was economist Dr. Araban Bazou and a panel of 3 mayors, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, and Tampa. This was the 14th annual summit that was hosted by Crew, which is commercial real estate for women. A few years ago, my wife was on the board of directors, and she invited Mayor Beavis and our city manager then, Bruce Haddock, and they went with us. Dr. Pursuit predicted upcoming recession this September, which I thought was kind of, he went right into it. He said the interest rates are going to continue to go higher. The housing market is going to move even slower and harder to get construction loans, which Councilmember Graber talked about today. Mayor Ken Welch gave an update on St. Petersburg, the BRT, which is the Sunrunner system. It's been a huge success in St. Pete, and he wants to actually make that free all the time. Somehow St. Petersburg wants to fund that. I'm not sure how. And he didn't explain. Mayor Jane Castor gave her update on the city of Tampa was phenomenal. She's really special, and ended up by asking everyone to be nice to one another, stop being mean, and let's all be nice. I thought that was the way she ended her speech was pretty interesting. I also want to thank, item 2, I want to thank Senator Ed Hooper, House Representative Adam Anderson, and lobbyist R.J. Myers for their help in obtaining that $1 million state appropriation for our State Street project. Also, thank you to our city staff for your hard work and making that all happen. That was a great, great thing for our city. And that's all I have. All right, with that, last thing, happy 4th of July to everybody. Have fun and don't blow your hands up with fireworks.
Amen.
All right, amen. Item 24, approve the tentative agenda for July 18th. Council meeting, does anybody wish to pull or add anything to the agenda? All right, then I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Second?
I got a motion and a second. Any other discussion on the tentative agenda? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Happy 4th of July. This